Chairman Leahy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Secretary Blinken, I had stepped out, but I heard your kind words outside. I didn't jump back in because I didn't want to interrupt you. I was enjoying it too much. But thank you. It was undeserved, but greatly appreciated. And regarding Ukraine, there's been some who've urged the U.S. to liquidate the Russian central bank's nearly, $100 billion, I believe, in foreign exchange reserves that are frozen at the Federal Reserve, to use those funds to help the people of Ukraine. Does the department have the capacity to identify the assets of Russia and other oligarchs? And can they coordinate with the Treasury and Justice Departments in seizing and freezing such assets?
Mr. Chairman, we are working very closely with Treasury and Justice to look at both how we can effectively freeze, but also seize assets. And we have blocking sanctions, as you know, in place against a variety of individuals and institutions that effectively freezes their property in the United States. The question when it comes to the seizure piece is, do we have the relevant provisions in place, civil, criminal, forfeiture authorities? Justice is in the process of reviewing that. And I know that there are a number of ideas that I find compelling about finding ways to use these assets to support Ukraine. The short answer is Justice Department lawyers are looking at all of that.
Of course, it doesn't help that a lot of those assets are behind various walls, one after another, fake corporations and things of that nature.
Yep, and I think it goes to the importance of having transparency, beneficial ownership rules, etc.
I can't think of anything I've seen more shocking than the scenes of what the Russian soldiers are doing, machine gunning families as they're trying to run away from something, the children, innocent civilians who've been murdered. And can that be investigated by the International Criminal Court? Should it be, and can we help?
We welcome the fact that the ICC has opened an investigation. One of the critical things they're doing is making sure that potential evidence of atrocities is being compiled effectively. As I mentioned, I think when you were out of the room, Mr. Chairman, besides the ICC work, I think the critical focus that we have is on supporting the work of the Ukrainian Prosecutor General. And we have experts who are working every single day with that team to make sure that they have what they need to document, compile the evidence, and actually look at potential prosecutions. But those two efforts, as well as the Commission of Inquiry established by the Human Rights Council at the United Nations with our leadership, are three of the critical vehicles we see going forward to get accountability to deal with this. And to your point, some of the things we're seeing are, I think, beyond almost our collective imaginations. For example, there are very credible reports that the Russians have been in retreat, booby-trapping things like people's washing machines and toys, so that when people are able to return home and go about their lives, they're killed or injured as a result of one of these booby traps.
I look at some of the landmines and cluster mines they're using in this javelin type mine that you don't even have to touch it, you come near it.
That's exactly right. And Mr. Chairman, part of our request, and I think this will be in the supplemental, will be for some additional funds for demining, because unfortunately we have to deal with that now as a result of what Russia's been doing.
And thank you for mentioning it, because I know your request is 18 million below what been requested last year. I have a feeling you're going to need a lot more for humanitarian demining. And as you know, I've long sought to rid the world of landmines, but I think also what the prosecutors are getting is going to be extremely important for historians. Mm-hmm. Those who don't understand the mistakes of history. It's almost a cliche, but they're condemned to repeat them. The world is going to see this because there is no question that it's crimes against humanity. And we're going to need, I think the World Food Program projects an unmet need of $10 billion. I would hope we'd have requests to beef that up. And the president's budget request is about $8 billion above the fiscal year 2022 enacted level, but war in Ukraine, the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, and so on, is this not the moment we should be investing more in the State Department and other agencies and more? I know this is something Chairman Coons has talked about at length, putting more in foreign ops, not less. Mm-hmm. So, and lastly, and my time is running out, the Leahy law, would you and your staff please talk with us how that, the one that prohibits assistance to units of foreign security forces that are committing gross violations of human rights. I think you have some money in your budget for Leahy law vetting, but are you confident that that's being carried out as much as it should be?
Mr. Chairman, in my judgment, it is. I think it's being consistently and effectively applied. We have $15 million in the budget this year to conduct the vetting. It's a critical part of what we do, and I think we have the resources as well as the focus necessary to carry that out in the way it was intended.
And I just mentioned, Chairman, your plane was delayed, but we had a meeting, at some extensive meeting. I know Senator Durbin and I were there yesterday with the President and others about Cuba. Nobody condones the crackdown on the people who are peacefully protesting in there, but I also don't condone the total rollback of the policy that we had under the Obama administration. I had hoped that attention is given to finding a way that we can start having normal relations with Cuba for the good of their own people and for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to catching up with the President. I haven't talked to him since your meeting, but I look forward to hearing from him on the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Graham.
Thank you very much.